Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Omega Speedmaster Professional Moonwatch, the so-called Sapphire Sandwich, Sapphire Dial and Sapphire Display Caseback. You can see and you can purchase this upscale Moonwatch on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch with additional accessories included in the sale, high-res images for your desktop that do not include my wrist, and of course our complete pricing details for this double sapphire Omega Speedmaster Professional Moonwatch. Now on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, the Speedmaster Professional Moonwatch with sapphire as opposed to hesselite crystal features the classic chunky asymmetrical beveled case that we've known in the Speedy Pro family since about 1965. It's 42 millimeters across the round of the case, not inclusive of crown guards, crown, or chronograph pushers. Now, it does have a slightly lower height over the wrist than the hesselite crystal watch, about 1.5 millimeters thinner at 13.5 millimeters thanks to the lower sitting sapphire. Nevertheless, it still does have the outcropping of the black tack, the tachymetric scale bezel that can cause tight sleeves and dress cuffs to get hung up, but this is the better option for formal attire, less likely to catch a sleeve. Now from Lug to Lug, 2 ways to measure this watch. Since many of you will wear it on a NATO strap or some sort of textile, from Lug to Lug, it measures 48 millimeters. But if you were to measure extremity to extremity on the bracelet as it's sold, the span across the wrist is longer. You can see the solid end links extend the watch horizontally. Now it has a span across the wrist of a more substantial 54. Again, buy the watch and you choose how to wear it. One thing is undeniable. These contemporary moonwatches are substantial. The bracelet and clasp adds substantial heft to the watch and a feeling of luxury substance and solidity. Now you can see the bracelet is nicely finished. 3-link, you can see it features alternating polished and satin finished facets, beautifully made. It has a robust instrument style to it, much like Rolex's Oyster, and on the underside there are broad channels between links so it won't pinch skin or pull hair. All of the individual sizing links feature screws, not pins and sleeves, upscale, once again, everything you expect of a modern luxury watch, and there's a substantial single swing arm deployant, so it's a single fold deployant with engraved Omega Seamaster and Professional logos on the outside. Twin trigger release, so this one can't pop open, it's not friction fit. It does require depression of both triggers to open, and that's reassuring because this watch does have, as I mentioned, substantial heft to it. Now here's the thing about this watch. At first glance, this is the Moonwatch, full stop. But this exact model features some refinements that you won't want if you're going to be engaging in extravehicular walks in outer space. Everyone who fits that column, skip ahead to one of my other reviews. I've got plenty with the hesselite. Everyone who's not going into space, this is your watch. For one thing, the sapphire will allow the watch to wear better on a tight cuff, and for another, it will allow it to look better in the long term. The sapphire essentially protects the watch from a lot of the knocks and glancing blows that will disfigure other components of the case. Now that's a problem on the standard Moonwatch because it basically has a thermoplastic crystal, so the crystal looks ugly. Here you have the sapphire you expect on a luxury watch. You can only routinely scratch it with diamond or if you just flat out shatter it. Everything else, case, tack, dial, movement, is the classic Moonwatch, so it's got that core DNA and the unmistakable look. Everything's easy to read. Everything's super luminova. You can see the dished subregisters with white print as legible as ever. Baton-style hands, white on black. You can read this at a glance in any light, as NASA and Omega intended. Now it is a manual winder, and what you'll be winding, this is the other advantage to civilian customers, what you'll be winding is the upscale and more robustly finished caliber 1863. Now the difference between 1861 and 1863 is as of the late 1990s when they split apart, 1861 is for solid casebacks. 1863, which you see here under a sapphire display caseback, which is a deviation from the Moonwatch orthodoxy, is better finished. The individual components are better finished, and certain Delrin or plastic components on the standard 1861 are here swapped out in favor of a more robust and comely metal. Now, the watch looks great. From the case back, you can see everything from the 18 pivot jewels of the movement to the big balance beating away at 21,600 vibrations per hour. It is a lateral clutch cam operated chronograph, so you get to actually see the chronograph clutch in action. That's one of the advantages of a lateral clutch. You don't get to see it in the standard Moonwatch here. Watch its driving wheel and its center wheel. Engage and disengage. You can also see the cam or shuttle action of the actuator. There's a lot to see here, and it's quite handsome. With a 48-hour manually wound power reserve, you'll get to wind it up every single day. And protected by 5 ATM water resistance, you should be safe for surface sports. I wouldn't go diving with the watch, and I certainly wouldn't hit the deck hard. Withhold use of this watch during water skiing or jet skiing. In other respects, it is a full-service sports watch, and the movement in this has been so shock-resistant that NASA's actually opined that it is more durable at extreme limits of handling than the caliber 1666 in the X33. So, though mechanical and traditional, it is incredibly tough. This is a timepiece that takes everything that is the Moonwatch classically and combines it with luxury refinements such as the sapphire crystal over the dial and the visible crystal on the caseback, allowing you to see an upscale, better finished variant of the famous Lamagna-based Omega Moonwatch caliber. You can see and you can purchase this upscale Moonwatch on our website.